GC, and hello everyone for joining us today. This is Dana Dowdy, Grace County Digital Learning Coach, and we will be joined today by Ms. Gregory, Principal at GCHS, who will be introducing our guest today. We'll be taking questions from the chat, so make sure you put those in there. And then also subscribe to our YouTube channel, GC Digital Learning. Hopefully next time we'll be live. We have some technical difficulties today, but we are persevering through that. So it's without further ado, Ms. Gregory, could you introduce our special guest today?
Yes. Okay. So thank you again for joining us. Today we've got Alex Richards with us. And one thing that stands out to me with Alex is his ability to still create a good classroom culture, a positive classroom culture in a remote atmosphere, but also continue a rigorous curriculum, if that makes sense. So it's not one or the other. It's not just let's love on each other for 40 minutes straight on Zoom. He does both. And so I've asked him just to come and share some of those. And let me also just say that probably you guys are already doing some of these things, and shout out to you. And as you have ideas when he's talking, please put them in the chat. This is not the all-knowing presenter at all. That's not the purpose of Lunch Bunch. It's to empower and share ideas through the chat, not just the person speaking. So without further ado, because we're running a little late, hey, Alex, thanks for hanging with us. That's technology for us. We live and learn. Definitely next week, we'll continue to practice at YouTube Live, but take it away, Alex.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. And thank you to everybody logging in here on Zoom. I know it's a very busy time, and taking 20 minutes out of your schedule, we definitely appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Gregory, Ms. Dana, for setting up this lunch bunch. I think it's a really cool opportunity to see all the great ideas that we've got going on in our district and being able to take those and apply them to the betterment of our students. So before we start out, Ms. Gregory has a secret prize, and we're going to kind of model some of this culture stuff within our Zoom right here. So what I want you to do in your chat, I think we've got several that are from our school, but go ahead in the chat. We're going to take, like the radio station, person number 5, type your school where you're watching from in the chat. And the 5th person will get the special surprise this morning.
We've got we've got multiple prizes. Some are gagged, some are good.
All right, so there we go. We got several coming in. Got some friends from Wingo. Tell Mr. Bradley hello. Farmington, Murray Independent. Congratulations on beating our arch rival Mayfield. All right, so the 5th comment that I've got is Erica Alexander from Wingo Elementary. Erica, you have won. Miss Gregory, do you want to show her what she's won? Let's see. Miss Gregory might be frozen on my side, but maybe when she gets unfrozen. Erica, you have won a pack of Santa Claus facial tissues. So Miss Gregory will show you that. She's got them up there on her screen. We'll be sure to get that over to Wingo for you. So a little fun gift right out of the gate. So I always like to start off my classes with, I'll come in and try to tell them what they're doing and things like that for the day. But before we even get into content, try to do something fun. Just like that. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see. Okay, and then talk to you about virtual culture. So like, why is it important, and then how and what impact does that have on us, and then show you some examples. So it definitely is challenging with everything that you've got going on with virtual learning, Zoom learning, Google Classroom, Schoology, whatever your school is using. It's a lot on our plates right now, but our kids still deserve it. This could be the highlight of their day, especially when you think about the students that go home to not the best home lives, to be able to just escape that for literally 3 hours a day at the high school at 45 minutes for 4 class periods. We still want to make that somewhere that they're excited and they want to be. Just to be honest with you, if I'm a 15-year-old guy going back to Alex in high school, I'm probably not really enthused to wake up at 9 o'clock and do a Spanish 2 class. So you've got to do what you can to make sure that they want to be there. It makes it a little bit engaging for them. So I'm going to unshare my whole screen. I'm going to share my audio with you so you can hear this little clip from Rita Pearson. This is her TED Talk. And I'll show you how to share screens here in a little bit too. So let me go back over here. And it's just like a little 20-minute.
Like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference.
Did it work that time? Oh, there we go. It did work that time. All right, so that's good. Let me go back to sharing my entire screen this time. So this is something whenever at the beginning of the year, I always try to watch this to kind of get myself motivated and knowing the difference, impact that we can make. And it's still true through remote learning, through virtual learning. It's challenging. It doesn't make sense. But if we don't keep on keeping on for our kids, nobody else is going to. So some takeaways that I take from this, again, a little motivation, I'm sure y'all have seen this before, is no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. Her quote that she was talking to her colleague about, kids don't learn from people they don't like. So you don't have to be their best friend, but make them feel a part of your classroom. Make sure that they enjoy being there. The human connection, making students feel like they're somebody, that you see them, that they're not just a black little screen with a name on it.
So Alex, I want to interject with you right there too, in the fact of kids don't learn from people they don't like, and they're also not going to get on Zooms. See, we've been really spoiled because in public aid, kids have had to come to school from 8 to 3. So they don't have a choice to come to your classroom. And so really the reason we're talking about culture and remote learning is because they do have a choice, and we're fighting against lots of outside noise. And so Alex will really get into what will we do to make them want to get on a Zoom every day with our classroom? Because what we do know with most students is it's not necessarily for the content, it's for connection. So how are we connecting with each other every day?
Exactly. And it's easy for them to log into at the beginning and then just log off, or to leave their screen on and just have us muted in the background and have it logged on. So how do we make sure that they are engaged, that they want to be there? Again, I think something that's come through to me in person, hopefully it comes through virtual, is that Mr. Richards, we can tell you want to be here, you want to do your job. So if I'm modeling that through my teaching, my students should see that, and they should feel that way about learning in my class. And then the last two, every child deserves an adult who's willing to never give up on them despite a global pandemic, despite having to meet via Zoom. Content definitely is important, but at the end of the day, those relationships and making sure that they know that we believe in them, that we're there for them to be successful. So that's the why. But what effect does this have? So near my grad studies, like John Hattie is an Australian professor. He's from New Zealand, but he teaches in Australia, and he's done the visible learning study on different effects of learning and what impact it has. So the normal year's growth is 0.4. That's called the hinge point. In 2009, teacher and student relationship ranked at 11 out of 800. So that stands out to me. And then over on the side, you'll see how the data, being transparent with you, 2009, 2011, it was 0.72. And then in 2015, it was 0.52. And then the normal is here in the yellow. But what I would say to you, how much more, if this survey or if this study was done again, how important are our relationships in our effectiveness of what students are learning over Zoom, over Schoology and things like that? I would say that the number on this trend, that hinge point data, would be a lot higher. So it's just the data stands out to me, and then it's just the motivation, the why behind it from Ms. Pearson's video that was on the last slide. So how do I do that? So I do giveaways, kind of like we did at the beginning of the class. What I'll do with mine is I'll have my students type in the chat a number between 0 and 100 in Spanish. And so I'm getting a little content overview there. And then whoever's closest, what I'll do is I'll write their name on a sticky note and I'll hold it up to the screen, which isn't really hard to do. And all that I give away is like a little pack of fruit snacks from Sam's. They're literally like $9 for a pack of like 100. So it's not anything that's really expensive to me, and it's something they love and they enjoy. So the trivia was something else that I do. Use that in the chat. And then the student-centered suggested playlist in Zoom. So here's some comments in the Zoom chat that people made. So let me show you how that works. So on the playlist, what you'll do is I have them type that in the chat like a song they would want to include. And what you'll do, just create your own playlist in YouTube. That's what I have my name named as. And then when you get there, student suggests this song, you're gonna go over to 3 little dots. You're gonna save the playlist and you're gonna choose which one you're using. And then it's saved there. And when you get into Zoom, I don't think it's gonna let me pull this up because I'm actually sharing my screen. But when you go in to share your screen, like you normally do to share your PowerPoints, you're gonna go over to advanced and it's gonna say audio only. And what I do with this playlist is as they're coming in and people log in at about 11:45, let's say for a 12 o'clock class, I've got those playing in the background so that it isn't that awkward silence as we wait. Let me get back to my presentation. And then positive parent contacts. This was something we did during my student teaching semester at Carlisle during our PLCs. We would
last call for all student lunches. If you need a student lunch, go to the cafeteria now, please.
At the beginning of the PLC, they would take a little note card. Let me unshare my screen so you can see me. They would take like a little postcard or something like this, and they would just write something positive about a student, and they would send that to their address. And I do this. I use letterhead, and I send it in this official Grace County envelope. So some of my students say, I accidentally tore that up, Mr. Richards, because I saw an envelope from the high school. They kind of got scared. But when they open that up and then see that little handwritten note about, I really appreciate X, Y, or Z about your student, that just helps build a rapport with the students, connection with the family, that we do care and that we're not just looking at their student as a grade or as a number. So those are some tools that I'm using and use in the classroom normally to build some cultures. So if you have questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
Hey, Alex,
Dana.
Mr. McNeely wants to know if we could do a screencast on how to add that audio. So I don't think that would be too hard, would it?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh,
It's time for another giveaway.
There you
So
go.
if we could, I love giveaways. This time it's not a gag gift. But I want you to share, how have you created community or culture? What is something that you do? Because collaboration's key. Let's get some ideas flowing, and we'll take what's your favorite number? Ocho. Numero ocho wins. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. So share, because we've got ideas for sure to share with each other.
I got everybody to show if they have an animal in their house, their cat, dog, pet of any kind, and I think they really liked doing that, and we talked about them for just a few minutes.
Excellent. Thank you, Deidre. And that could be any age. That's good.
I make mine smile before I let them off of Zoom. So every class period, they know before they get out of Zoom, they have to smile at me.
Okay. Hey, Amy, I'm so glad you put that in the chat. I was in her class yesterday. I drop in a lot of Zoom classes, but she just asked the students, well, she did the mood meter, but what I saw was just, what's your favorite winter drink? I think that's huge, like getting to know kids and connecting with kids that way. So I liked that. What else is on there, Dana? Sorry, I'm losing track here.
I see daily scavenger hunts, dance or exercises, and an act of kindness, a daily act of kindness from Miss Munger. So I think those scavenger hunts are pretty fun, especially for any age, honestly. Miss Munger teaches 2nd grade. Miss Rickman said that she does a mental health check with them.
Hey,
Asking for
I'm
any-
loving Tyler Adams. Where are you? Is your face showing today? Yeah, use those breakout rooms like you would Kagan groups and do one of those team builders in Kagan groups, breakout room of 4. So awesome, Tyler. Great idea. Personal notes are key.
All right. Do we want to pick our winner?
Yes. 1, 2. Sorry, I'm going through. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Emily McKee. She's the last one, so it's 8 because I counted my 2 on top. I posted daily check-in question. Okay, Emily McKee, I'm gonna have to find something else to give you because the winner of today's was Chromebook Infused Classroom, which if you don't have that book, you need to have that book in remote learning. It's awesome. So Emily, I will find something else. I will probably talk to your mother-in-law about purchasing a t-shirt from the store for sure for you. Okay. So hey guys, listen, I know Dana's going to close us out. I'm sorry we we started late. I so appreciate your support of Alex. It's a scary thing to present to the unknown, and you don't know if anybody's going to show up. So lots of love to you guys who come and support. But I also want to do a commercial in that you are doing great things in your classroom. This is not difficult to share or hard to share. I came away with 4 new ideas to use in my block meetings tomorrow just from today. So if you're doing something cool that you think maybe people would benefit, and I'm going to tell you everybody would benefit from it, please fill out that form. Because collaboration, working together is part of self-care right now. We cannot do this alone. Dana, take it away.
All right. So hopefully Thursday, our next show will be on YouTube. Fingers crossed. But hey, we're trying every day until we get it. So join us Thursday at 11 a.m., December 3rd. We're going to dive into Class Kick. So that'll be something new for a lot of people. And thanks for joining us. And also this show will be on YouTube later on demand. So if any of your colleagues missed today, they can jump over there and watch it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. So thank you all and have a great Monday.